right, Victorum Gaming fans and SPQR fans, we're back with another video covering the talent trees for the heroes in the game, and today we're going to take a look at one called Son of Chionis. And so this one is a little bit interesting. It's got one base or required ability, and then you got basically 3 different branches, so very different from most of the tech trees. So the hero is exceptionally lithe and athletic, able to jump obstacles and slip past enemies without missing a step. Difficult to pin down. It can sometimes seem as though the hero is in 2 places at once. So Lightfoot is the required one, and that is a move action. So during a move action, the hero can make an agility check to jump over any obstacle up to 1 inch high without any move penalty. If the check is failed, the hero will only move half his move score as normal for difficult terrain, stopping at the obstacle if he's already exceeded this distance. So pretty simple ability, basically just lets you get over low obstacles easier, assuming you have a good agility score. So and really, depending on what kind of terrain you play with too, you know, if you're playing with mostly like flat terrain, maybe some hills and some trees and stuff here and there, like a lot of times this ability won't necessarily come into play. But if you're playing with a lot of vertical elevation, stuff like that, or things where you might need to be doing some climbing and changing position like that, then certainly the ability could be useful. But beyond that, it's a little bit questionable to necessarily invest in that, but it does let you get to some of these other pretty neat abilities too. So the next one, we're going to kind of go backwards from the way they have it listed up here, but written down here. Back Atcha is a passive one, but it does require agility +1 or higher, but it seems like just about every hero has that. I think there's a few that maybe don't, though. But possessed with lightning reflexes, the hero can scoop up a javelin thrown at him and hoist it back towards the enemy. Once per turn, if the hero is attacked by a thrown javelin, he may throw it back if he passes an agility check. This is treated as an immediate and free shoot action. So, and basically what that implies is that, you know, even if they hit you, if you pass your agility check, then it doesn't go on to the damage step. That only makes sense. You wouldn't wait for it to hurt you and then pull it out and then throw it back. But a pretty cool ability, very situational, though. Again, if you're not playing against an enemy that's even using javelins, obviously this isn't going to come into play. But a pretty neat ability to just chuck a javelin back and maybe even kill the guy that threw it at you, if it was just like a minion or something, or if it was a hero on their last wound that somehow did that and you take them out with that. That's just putting salt in the wound there. But again, a little bit limited in its overall application here. But again, a lot of armies do have javelins, but you know, how often, you know, if you have literally a javelin thrown at you every single turn, you're probably in a bad spot, I would imagine. So then we have another option here, which is well planted. This one's just truly passive, no requirements. The hero is exceptionally steady on his feet and difficult to trip or topple. So when the hero suffers a knockdown, they can make an agility check. And if successful, you ignore the knockdown and remain standing. So this one can be certainly cool, especially if you're potentially facing a lot of heroes, enemy heroes, or other things that will cause knockdown to happen, basically. So, and assuming your agility scores up to snuff, being able to stay on your feet can certainly make or break things, especially if someone's built a hero that's kind of spec'd to try for knockdowns, basically. So, but yeah, pretty simple ability there. So these are all little like situational abilities here. And then quick dodge, another passive one. During a fierce skirmish, cover is usually the first port of call, but some individuals learn to do without. If the hero is not in cover, ranged attacks made against him suffer a -1 penalty to their checks. And this is honestly, my opinion at least, the single best ability out of the whole tree. So again, you know, assuming most heroes would probably have like a large shield and get some parries there, but just forcing just a permanent like a -1 penalty to enemy checks, even when you're out in the open, specifically when you're out in the open, is pretty cool. So that will let you get from point to point without necessarily having to worry about, you know, the enemy suddenly peppering you with shots more effectively because you left cover to go do something else. So out of all of them, that is, again, I think probably the best one, just as it has that permanent application there. So, and especially maybe, you know, if you're going to be doing a lot of moving, and again, if the terrain is something that you set up where you're going to have a lot of elevation changes and things like that, so a lot of fences maybe and other things like that, then certainly pairing that, like taking Lightfoot and then going for quick dodge is probably the best overall. Again, the others are all a little bit questionable, but you do have to take Lightfoot, and then again, I probably wouldn't go all in on this this whole tech tree. The javelin throwing thing is kind of cool, but again, potentially situational. Ideally, you're not exposing yourself to too much enemy fire like that, and well planted. Again, how many heroes are necessarily having a knockdown ability in the first place. So overall, I think quick dodge is really going to do you the best out of all of these. So Son of Chionis, interesting little tech tree. A lot of, again, situational, if not almost gimmicky little abilities. But again, overall quick dodge, I think, serves you best here, but you will have to invest 2 of your talent points to get there. But fortunately, at least, aside from back at you requiring an agility score, all of these are essentially either passive or don't require any other special skills. So that has been Son of Chionis. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you have some different opinions or experiences with that so far. If you like the video, hit us with a like and a subscribe if you haven't already, and then stay tuned for more content.